In the last video, we talked about the ritual we have in the gay male community of being catty with one another, of taking other people down, and how partially we do that as a way of fitting in, as a way of building connection and community. And we talked about how that doesn't really work great for us, that it's not a great foundation for making connection, and that it's not in line for most of us with who we want to be and how we want to operate. So in this video, I'd like to talk about how we start to build meaningful, healthy, lasting connection. And some of the things I mentioned in the last video are that it takes time and it takes trust and it takes relationships in which we can be vulnerable. And it also takes having shared values with other people. So let's talk about how we start to do the work of building that community. As always, it starts with ourselves. So it starts with setting the intention of building meaningful, trustworthy community. And that sounds simple. Okay, just set the intention. But having the intention allows us to prioritize it and to create space for that in our lives. And when we do that, then we find that we attract people who are in similar situations, and we also notice those people who are prioritizing the same thing. And those are people with whom we want to build connection. Another thing that we want to do is get clear about who we want to be in our relationships, what we have to offer, what kind of friend we want to be, and do the work that we need to do to take care of ourselves so that we can cultivate that space in relationships with other people. Another piece of that is looking at who we are looking for creating relationships with. Who do we want to be friends with? What kind of characteristics do we want in them? What values do we want to share with them? Maybe things that they're up to that we really value, that we want in our lives, like a sense of humor or a sense of adventure, someone we can travel with. Getting clear on these things of who we want to be and what we're looking for then helps us to notice when we meet people who share those values, when we're clear about those things, we notice that, and then we can more easily connect with those people and bring those people in who share those values with us. The next thing we want to do is set the stage for this to happen. So we have to do some logistical things to make this happen. As we're older, we are put in fewer situations in which we are forced into community like we were in college. So the conversation I have with a lot of people is that how much harder it is as we get older to make friends. This is true particularly, I think, for a lot of gay men as we reach late 20s, early 30s, or we're going through a transition from spending a lot of time in community at bars and things like that, where there's a natural sense of community where we're thrown into that, to the next phase of life, perhaps, which is when we're spending less time there, or we're feeling less connected to community because that's not something that we want to do on a regular basis. So what do we put in that place to build community? So we want to look at things that are important to us and things that we enjoy. That can be yoga, it could be spiritual communities, meditation communities, getting involved politically in ways that are important to us. Anything that is where we feel congruency with what's important to us. I mean, it doesn't have to be these huge things. It can be a running group, it can be a knitting class or a cooking class. But these areas that we really enjoy, the things where we feel flow, the things that we are naturally connected to, the things in which we feel empowered, those are the activities and those are the spaces we want to put ourselves in, because I mean, one, we're going to enjoy ourselves and we're creating a meaningful, purposeful life by being engaged in those things. And two, the people that we meet in those areas are people who we're going to at least share this value with, this thing that's important, this way of seeing the world and seeing ourselves that is important to us. So that creates a practical stage in which we can put some of the things we were talking about earlier into action. And yes, this does take more time. It does take more energy. And that's okay. So being okay with that, knowing that this is gonna take a little more time, this is going to happen a little more slowly than when we were younger, and that's okay. Listen, the bar is higher now than it was when we were much younger. The bar is lower when we're younger for who we let into our lives, because we're still learning about who we are. And as we know who we are, then the bar raises, the pool gets smaller, and we have to put more effort into that happening. And that's all right. It's okay that it takes some time, and it's okay that the bar's higher and the pool is smaller. We're building something that's important to us, and that does take time, and it takes some energy. So I hope this was helpful for you. If you enjoyed these videos, you can like Inner Sun Psychotherapy on Facebook, or you can subscribe to our YouTube channels, and then you'll be notified anytime new material and resources come out. Take great care. I hope you have a great day.